I am Sister Amor, AhQuality, and I'm from the San Francisco house. I have been a property of the order since August 2016. I have to think back, and I've been fully professed since April 2018. I have not been on the board.
UNPC?
Nope. Amor, AhQuality is both about the love that is expressed in Amor and also about equality or equity, which I think is really important. But Amor equity could have been like, so we went with AhQuality. But it's really about wanting to lift up everyone that needs to be supported and getting us to a place where we really do have equity. And loving that idea. In some ways, I think it does. I mean, I like to ensure that I act as the best ally I can to the groups that I'm with and around and the populations I work with. Some I'm a member of, some I'm not. But you know, we all have groups that we hope to be an ally to and advocate with. So I think that I think my ministry has something around that. Also, I think a lot of my focus is on oral health and trying to make access to oral health more equitable. There are a lot of people, particularly in the community, that don't have easy access to dental care, and it's a problem that I'm hoping to try to motivate new dentists in training to help solve. It's been interesting. I think that misogyny in the gay community is absolutely present. And I know that saying that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and yet I think that that's part of the role of being a sister, is to say the things that might be uncomfortable but also may be true and have those conversations. I have felt that there have been both low-key and overt expressions of misogyny at different points. I try to represent a feminist point of view, which I want to remind everyone, feminism is for everyone. And it's the patriarchy that actually makes slaves of us in our gender roles, in the way that we interact with one another. And it's not men against women, it's about equity, again. So yeah, I think that it's different. I think everyone's journey is different and everyone's process is different. But I have had conversations with other cisgendered females, and I think a lot of us have had some similar experiences. I think San Diego House did a beautiful panel where a lot of the sisters talked about that, and it's available either on their webpage or on YouTube. I can't remember right now, but I recommend people see that because I think encapsulates some of these ideas that we're talking about. It's also different interacting with the community. So every moment is a different moment, and like many of us, I'm a great 2020 Monday morning quarterback. I wish I had said X or Y. I think often one of the things that I do when something is brought up, it's very often done in the cloak of humor, and I've found something very effective that I do in those instances is I just don't get the joke, and I just keep asking people to explain why it's funny. And pretty clearly, at a certain point, people realize where I'm going and that it's not funny. And it's not an affrontive. It's not, you know, I realize you don't get anywhere by lashing out, you know, and I think that there are more clever ways. I don't always know what to do, to be honest, Fancy. I mean, and there are times where I seek the counsel of other sisters, both, you know, cis women, cis men, and gender non-conforming sisters have had these experiences, because I think that being a sister doesn't make you immune to discrimination. You know, we're people, and all people have bias, and bias is unconscious, and it doesn't mean that we get off the hook because it's unconscious. You know, it's just one of the journeys we get to take on the planet of figuring out what is it we need to work on. And so, you know, I know that I'm not a perfect person or a perfect sister, I try to do better, learn more, do better, learn more, do better. And I think that, that's a journey we're all on to some degree. And so I do try to, when I recognize those things in a public way, try to do them, either from a place of humor or a place of a truth telling. I can think of a situation recently where I just expressed, this has happened to me and this is my experience. And I think it's important to know that. So that's my long answer to that. Listen to your heart. And sometimes your journey and your process has things to teach you that you didn't know even existed. And there are challenges, and if you lean into them, you can grow. And it's one of the beauties of the Sisters, I think, is how incredibly diverse we are. And that means that we're not all alike, and we don't have the same process, and we don't have the same exact, passions. But I think there's a place for people. You don't have to be exactly like everyone else. So if you have your calling, you need a calling. You need a passion. But if you feel that, then follow your heart and lean into those things, is what I would say.